Wait a minute.
There we go.
Yeah, it's live.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Elson, could you tell us about yourself?
Well, first of all, I want to say it's a really pleasure and privilege to be with you today, and I certainly appreciate the invitation. And maybe
Thank
together
you.
we can inspire each other and also inspire those that are listening live and maybe those that listen in the future. So, welcome to everyone. And as far as about myself, my name is Allison. I'm from the United States, and I'm the mother of 11 children that I had all the 11 kids myself with one man, and I have 9 daughters and 2 sons, and most of them are grown up now. And
Wow.
being a mother was really important to me, and still is the most important thing in my life because it's a joy, it's hard work, it's a challenge, but uh, as a woman, I probably enjoyed this more than anything that I've done. Um, my life wasn't very easy. Raising my kids, there wasn't a lot of money or resources, but we did our best together as a family. Putting our faith in God and trusting Him for everything. And as my kids began to get older, I woke up one day and I thought, I wonder if there's something more for me in my life, because as a mother, we forget about ourselves sometimes, that maybe God has a plan for us. And I began to pray about that because I felt like I wanted to do more than just impact my own family. I wanted to do more for the rest of the world, but I wasn't sure exactly what path that would be or what strategy. And it came to my mind that I needed to get my education. So very late in life, I decided I only had my high school education, and I decided I would get my bachelor's degree. And I started at a local university, got my bachelor's very quickly, and surprisingly, had very good grades.
In which
Yes,
in which department? What's your qualification?
communication, communications degree. I did very
Communication.
well,
Okay, okay.
I'm surprised that I did because I was very nervous and intimidated, and I wanted to quit a lot, but I had a lot of people around me that encouraged me to keep going and to finish my degree. And then one day on a morning run, I had a really strong feeling that I was supposed to go to Harvard to get my master's, but that was impossible. And it was impossible for me for a few reasons. One, I still had 7 kids at home at the time.
Mm.
Harvard was about 2,500 kilometers from my house. And
Oh,
I didn't have the money. And I really didn't think I was smart enough to go there. But, when God puts a dream in your heart, sometimes you can't shake it off. You can't get rid of it. You go to sleep and it's there. You wake up and it's there. You're washing dishes and it's there. And I thought, well, I'm not going to have any regrets. I'm going to at least try. So I did. And I received a scholarship that paid for all of my expenses, my tuition, and my books, and also my airplane flight once a week. I had to fly there, do all my classes on one day, and fly home the next morning very early because I was still taking care of my family and also working full time. So I only missed one day of work and one day of being a mother. And my dream came true when I graduated from Harvard in 2016 with my master's in international relations, with a very strong research and focus in our U.S. space program. And then from there, my my bad life, my tough life, turned into a great life. And it opened the doors for me into the space industry and to travel internationally and to be, even talking to you here today. So that's just a little bit about my journey. And I just want to say I'm very grateful that that God gave me a second chance and that there were people around me that encouraged me every step of the way.
Yes, I can understand it's very difficult for you as a mother. And could you tell us how did you manage your home and children's when you have a degree, when you go for a degree?
Well,
It's very difficult for a mother.
well, as a mother, we're kind of the CEO and the president of the house in a sense that, the husband's the head of the house, but the woman takes charge of the schedule. And I knew there were 24 hours in a day. And if I slept 6 or 7 hours, that I could figure out how to organize my day to make this happen. So, for instance, when I went to the local university, I dropped my kids off at school and then I immediately went to the university. And while they were at school, I was taking all my classes. And then when they were finished, I was finished. So, there was always a way to figure it out. When I flew to Harvard each day, I got up at 4 a.m. and cooked their breakfast and their lunch and dinner ahead of time and made sure it was ready for them so that while I was gone, they could eat. And we just managed together. We figured it out. It's all about, I think, organization and discipline.
Yeah, I can understand it's very difficult for a woman, especially in US, because
Yeah,
everyone is busy in their own work, so they don't have time. Though then don't they give time to family?
yeah, but it's most important to take care of your kids first. I mean, you can do both
Yeah.
at the same time, but really, your children should be your priority because they're going to grow up and be gone soon, and you have to give your best to them so that they will turn out to be good people.
Yeah. Alison, can you tell us about yourself? What's your profession and which position you are in work currently working?
You want to know what I'm currently working in? Is that your
Yeah,
question?
yeah.
Okay. Um, well, I do a variety of things. Um, I've owned a gymnastics program for over 20 years where we train the sport of gymnastics. And it's been very successful. We have trained many state, national, and world champions. Currently, I'm training over 500 girls in the sport of gymnastics.
Wow.
I have amazing staff. I have incredible coaches that understand the vision of what we've been doing for the last couple of decades, and that is we want to win in our sport. Everyone wants to win when they compete, but those gold medals are nice. But most importantly, we need to train the girls, and we do every day. We spend at least 5 to 10 minutes with the girls, reminding them that they're special, that they need to put God first in their life, that there's a big plan, and that they can be CEOs, they can be senators, they can be doctors, lawyers, surgeons, but also good mothers, and that they have a voice and that they can do something with their life. And so I'm more happy sometimes about that part of the training than I am about the gymnastics. I also do quite a bit of international space consulting with different countries around the world or different people groups, um, bringing space technology to nations that are asking me for it. For instance, I'm not in Colombia, South America, but I'm working with the Colombian people to bring internet to the nation of Colombia. It's not really about a country getting an astronaut or going to the moon. It's like, what technology that's space related can I offer? And so we've been working on this project with SpaceX Starlink Internet for a while to bring the people there because there's only about 26% connectivity, and a lot of people there want it. And the best way to bring it is through space internet because the country is too mountainous to lay cable, everywhere. So that's a great project, and there's others as well that I'm super excited about. I also opened a girls' school in Afghanistan, and following all the rules there. It's limited, but giving girls hope there that they have a future as well. And those are just a few things I do. I invest in real estate so that I can pay for some of this humanitarian work, and I love my life now, and it's really something I never dreamed I could have.
Yeah, that's good. Alison, are you in 48?
Am I 48? What did you say?
Wow, that's great.
It's hard to hear you. What was your question?
How old are you?
You're not supposed to ask a woman that question. You're supposed to tell her she.
Because it's a very because if I ask you, don't take it personally.
I
Because
know.
in your age, every woman want legs and enjoy time with family. You are very role model for them because you are currently working. You are interested in your field in other fields.
Right. So I am actually 62 years old. 6'2".
62.
62. Yes, and
It
I'm
means you're a
also.
very energetic woman. You are very more role model for mothers.
Yes, as we get older, we can actually apply the things we've learned in
So
life.
most of G. So most of women give up in 50, 48 because they don't understand it's a very young age. It's a starting moment from 40 to 50.
I felt the same way. I felt my life was over too. I really did, and that's what I was talking about in the introduction. Was I kind of lost hope that I could do something
Yeah.
because I was too old and it was probably too late. But you know,
Okay.
it's not. It's never too late to chase after your dreams.
Okay. Listen, I have one other questions.
Yes.
Listen, in today's world, schools, universities, colleges, they don't teach us financial education,
Yeah, they don't teach us
and they
financial
don't
information here either. Unfortunately, we
say
have
don't
to. No, unfortunately, we learn academics sometimes, but we don't.
academics.
We're not really taught how to, apply it in life. And so there's really no not a lot of financial education here in our universities. It's getting better, but that's something that I think needs to be improved on. So I think most of us learn about financial education from the internet. We study YouTubes and listen to podcasts, and we we learn by trying. But as you said, it's something that's very needed, and it needs to start before university. It needs to start when people are 7, 8 years old, and they can have a
But
mindset to make money.
but universities and colleges should have that subject in their university.
I'm sorry. What was your question?
I say in university, colleges should have a subject to financial education, how to become financially free. What's your opinion in this question?
Well, I think it needs to start like in high school even, and it's not really about being greedy or seeking after riches or material things. It's just that everybody needs to be financially free so that at the end of the month they have enough money to eat and to pay their bills, their rent, these sort of things. And this is why financial freedom is important. And if you've ever been in a position where you didn't have any money and you were like I was for a long, long time, uh, it's stressful and it's makes you worry all the time and you think about it all the time, and it takes a lot of your mental energy. And you could take that mental energy and actually use it to create money and create some financial freedom. And it's very critical part of being a human being is having enough money to do the things that you need to do for yourself and your family.
Okay.
And it takes time. There's no such thing as becoming rich overnight. It doesn't happen. It's always in baby steps, and you just have to be responsible along the way, financially responsible.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. We need
Yeah.
more.
How did you get interested in NASA? What's your mindset? What's your ideas to become a NASA scientist in NASA field?
I had a professor at Harvard who was a woman, and she took an interest in me and suggested that I go this direction with my research at Harvard. I didn't really know it would open the doors to NASA or to the space industry, but I did what she said, and I attended a school that's sponsored by NASA and our other commercial space companies called International Space University. She suggested I attend that, and I did, and I learned so much about space there. And it was really because of her that I went that direction. And I'm not a scientist. My specialty is international relations. This was my degree. I'm not an engineer either.
International Affairs Officer.
Yet. And I worked at NASA headquarters for a little while, but then I saw the opportunity to help emerging nations with space, and I wanted to go off on my own and do it and uh, customize and tailor, the needs of that country. And you really can't do both. So
Yeah,
it's that's where my love of space happened. And I have to be honest, I'm old enough to have been 8 years old when the Apollo 11 mission happened, where our first astronauts walked on the moon. I was 8, and I watched Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin walk on the moon, and it was, pretty life altering to see that on television when I was 8 years old. And I've had the privilege since then to become good friends with Buzz, and these astronauts can really teach you a lot about life.
okay. Ma'am, in this modern technology world, we are keep moving in entering the future, upcoming future. So
Uh,
everything has been digitalized. For example, robotic engineering machines, like robotic working in cafes, restaurants,
mhm,
like we are currently using AI, Chat GPT.
right.
So
And
what should our current generation should do and prepare for that?
well, technology is like anything; it's a tool, and laying on the
Yeah,
table, it's not good or bad. It's it's when it's in the hands of the user, and it's the character of the person who's using it that makes it good or bad. For me, ChatGPT is fantastic. I use it for good in so many different ways. But most importantly, if people have been taught good morals and been taught to live right and taught to live godly principles, then they're going to take this tool and use it the right direction. But as there is anything, it's going to fall in the hands of bad people too. So I think that's just the way it goes, and we have to use it for our good the best
yeah,
we can. And hopefully, our lawmakers and people can pass laws that will um, guide this great technology the direction it needs to go. But it's going to end up in the hands of bad actors as well. So just like everything else we have, a gun is the same way. You lay a gun on the table, the gun is not dangerous. But you put that gun in the hands of a bad person, it becomes very bad. But it's just a tool. So that's how I see AI and everything that's coming in the future. And honestly, a lot of people are worried about our world right now and upset about a lot of things that are going on. But frankly, I think we live at the best time in human history, and never in the history of the human race have we had this kind of ability to talk to each other and to communicate and to live an easier life because of technology. So, I think it's a great time to be alive, and we should take full advantage of it.
okay. Ma'am, can you tell what's your good habits and bad habits?
What did you say?
Ma'am, can you tell us what's your good habits in your field or bad habits you doing?
I'm so sorry. I'm having a hard time because the internet to understand. One more time. What am I doing? What?
I'm saying, what's your good habits and bad habits?
You know, there's a place where you can type that question. Do you see that on the screen for me? Do you see where you can type a question? Because it's not coming through very well. The sound, the audio.
Sorry,
Can you ask me another way? I'm having a hard time hearing you. Ask again.
I'm saying that what's your good habits and bad habits?
I'm so sorry. Uh, I still can't hear.
Hello.
Hello, I'm here.
I'm saying that so to skip this question.
Okay, go ahead.
Skip the question.
Okay.
What's your future plans and goals, upcoming goals about the NASA field, social relationships,
Now I can
upcoming
hear.
projects?
Great. Now I can hear you. My future plans are to. I think one of the things I'm very, very excited about is to the intersection of space technology and humanitarian work. So recently, for instance, I was contacted by the one of the chiefs of the Amazon rainforest. You know, the Amazon rainforest is in Brazil. Uh, the tribes there, the tribes have no internet. And the chief asked me, can you help us get SpaceX internet into the Amazon rainforest so that we can have access to healthcare, uh, notification for bad weather, medical emergencies, so that the tribes can talk to each other. And these tribes are these are the ones that you imagine in your mind that have never had contact with the outside world. They don't have electricity. Fortunately, Starlink internet can run on solar power. And they asked me to raise the money to purchase a satellite dish for every tribe. And I have raised the money and I have purchased all of them, and they are actually being shipped to them as we speak. And what I'm the most happy about is they've asked me to come in person and to go back into the Amazon jungle. That's walking through the forest for 2 days, riding in boats. I mean, very difficult and treacherous journey,
Yeah.
but I'm a runner, so I'm not I'm in shape. I can do it. But just the privilege to see their culture when usually it's not exposed, to other people, and to see how they live and to eat their food and to enjoy their company and to be with them. So I think this is like one of my favorite things I've ever done in my whole life, and it's coming soon as far as the trip to Brazil.
Okay,
But
got it.
and I don't know what's happening, but I've just I take each day at a time and take the invitations to speak and to go and to do, and um, that's my that's how I live life, one day at a time.
Sometimes your screen is stuck.
Sometimes it's dark. Sorry.
I don't know. It's a network issue. I don't know. No worry. Ma'am Allison, can you tell us which NASA technologies have been invented for the development forward in 2023
I couldn't hear
after the
that.
COVID-19?
Could you ask me again?
Allison, can you tell us which NASA technologies have been invented for the development for the globe?
Um, no, I'm not really an expert at that. uh, I just take the
A little
technology
bit
with
knowledge.
me. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a tech person. I just make the connections and make things happen.
Yeah, that's good. I hear that people have made the built home on the moon are also living there. It is true.
You're saying that people say we didn't go to the moon?
Yeah, they are living over there. Is it true?
Well, if you've ever talked to, I've talked to many of the astronauts who have walked on the moon. And for instance,
Because you have a related.
yeah, for instance, our Apollo 11 mission that went to the moon, uh, there were 400,000 people working together to make this happen. NASA people, international
Wow.
partners, contractors, and they all were working together to make it happen. So there's really no way that it was made up because 400,000 people can't keep a secret if it was.
405,000 people. It's a
400,000
huge
people.
population.
Yeah, 400,000 people work together. A lot of people to make it happen. And I think history is
Yeah,
like
that's
that. When you're my age and you saw it happen and you watched the process, you know. But as history gets older and older, sometimes the new generation doesn't believe it because it's like, how could they have done that 50 some years ago with hardly any technology at all? But they did. They made it happen, and they did it over and over again too through Apollo 17. And I've talked to the Apollo 17 astronauts, Apollo 13, Apollo 9, other astronauts, and they're for real.
yeah.
Actually, some of the most amazing. They're
Ma'am,
actually
any tips?
they're most amazing men I've ever met.
Ma'am, any tips and tricks for our young generation to
Sure.
become successful in their own field?
Well, I don't think that you should let your age. There's a voice in our head. When we're young, the voice says you're too young.
Especially for women, girls.
Yeah, your voice in your head says you're too young. When you get older, the voice says you're too old. There's always a voice in your head that plays over and over again that tells you why you can't do it. And it doesn't matter if you're young or you're old. It's still the same voice. And I just want to tell everyone that's listening, turn that voice off and listen to the positive voice, and know that if you set your mind to anything, you can make it happen. No one can stop you but yourself. You're the only person that can make it stop, because everyone that chases a dream will always have challenges and impossible circumstances and tough times where you want to quit. But you have to never quit. You have to keep going, because if you try and you work hard and you keep pursuing it, God will be right there with you. And uh, what you can't make happen, He often does. And so that's what I would say is, give it your best, never quit, and do not live this life with regrets, because one day we're all going to leave this planet, aren't we? We're going to breathe our last breath. And do you want to die with regrets, or do you want to die with a big smile on your face saying, I gave it my best? And that's what my decision is, be the best I can
It
be.
means you. It means you are saying always trying. Don't give up
Hmm.
until the last breath you have in your.
Yeah. So yeah, just don't give up, never quit, and don't have any regrets at the end of your life. Do not. At that point, it's too late. And every single person has been designed to do something special and unique and different. I mean, God made every snowflake different, and He made every person.
Obviously.
And every snowflake's important. And if a snowflake's important, then how much more is a person? How much more are you? So, you know, with heaven behind you and a no quit attitude, nothing's impossible. Nothing.
Ma'am, can you tell us about your culture, diversity, American culture? I like American culture. I'm very interested in American culture.
That's a great question. First of all, I just want to say that my experience talking to a lot of you from your country and getting to know Pakistanis. And I have Pakistani friends here too. I love being with you all. You're always positive. You have a positive attitude, positive spirit about you, and it seems like everyone's very organized and hungry to be great. And I like that about your culture. And I guess I want to experience more, hopefully in person one day, where I can eat the food and see your cities and enjoy your historical landmarks and learn more about your country. It's got to be incredibly fascinating. It's got to be very beautiful too. I've seen pictures. But as far as American culture, the good part of American culture is that I think a lot of American people have a can-do attitude. They seem like when they make a decision to do something, they feel like they're unstoppable. I don't know why we're like that. I think maybe because we're a young country and we're a country of immigrants as well as native people that lived here before, but the majority of the country is immigrants from all over the world, and the immigrants came here with nothing, and so I think they developed an inner strength and grit to survive at first, and this is carried over into the next few generations where I think Americans take things to the finish line when they start it. At the same time, Americans are sometimes don't take time to smell the flowers, sit down. We go, 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 go. And sometimes we forget to stop and enjoy the moment. And that's something that we need to work on here. So, no country is perfect and no people are perfect. But what I found is that as I've traveled internationally, people are the same everywhere I go. They're nice and kind and generous, and they just want the best for their life and the best for their kids. And I've found that the human race is just one big family, and I like being part of it.
Ma'am, you ever been as ma'am, have you ever been visited Pakistan?
No, but it's gonna happen. It will.
What's your perspective about Pakistan? Most of Western countries have no good perspective about Pakistan. What's your opinion on that?
Did you ask the question one more time, please?
I'm saying, what's your perspective about Pakistan? How do
Well,
you see Pakistan?
I'm no expert on Pakistan. I've never lived there or been there, and I don't trust the media on their viewpoint because the media always reports the negative things about each country.
Yeah,
Not a lot of
the-
positive. They probably
because they want to TRP,
yeah
most views,
they
blah blah
probably
blah.
they probably report about America that we all carry guns everywhere and we shoot everybody, which is not true. And
Which is not yes.
that's something they do report, and it's not true. We're peace loving people, but I like I said, I'm no expert about your country, but from everything I can see, it's absolutely beautiful and full of beautiful people, and that's all I know.
Yeah, I'm inviting you to visit Pakistan one day if you want, as
Thank
you
you.
wish.
Thank you. I will.
You give us chance to serve you.
I apologize, but I have to go. I have one more interview. And is there any other question you'd like to ask?
No, 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 no. Okay, doesn't matter. You can go. Thank you
Well,
for giving us your precious time, and we are enjoying to talk with you. We will connect in another day.
thank you so much. And it was fun and I enjoyed it. I apologize. Internet connection wasn't perfect, but hopefully we inspired your listeners and we taught them to never give up and chase after the impossible. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for giving me us your precious time. It's
Thank
very honorable to talk with you.
you. Good to talk to you.
Okay, thank you so much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.